The Inland Sea, chapter excerpt titled Essence. I wondered what the strange beetle was doing there, and how it managed to attach itself so quickly without my say-so. Upon examining it, ever so discreetly, it occurred to me that I was the only one in this universe who knew of its whereabouts. Was anything searching for it? Other beetles, perhaps, or maybe birds? It was only millions of evolutionary years and several centimeters of glass that separated us, but still that did not stop the moment from holding us both in a time when we were, in fact, both. I watched its meager frame hurrying and pausing upon the motion of wind and car, reacting to the sudden shifts in velocity, rearranging its stance to suit this new gravity. And what a balancing act this little beast performed, with its yellow and green back poised alongside the rear-view mirror beside me. To think I might have missed it had my eyes been too dreamlike and my mind too arrogant. Any indignation on my part involving an unrolled window and a flick of finger could have ruined it. Instead, with my chin resting upon my shoulder and one eye open, I sat and studied this small creature as it maneuvered into a kind of confidence and form. Hiroki sat beside and drove, unaware and alone within his own mess of thought. I chose not to inform him of this private spectacle, this tiny beetle that seemed to fly all this way just to find me. Even though I knew this was not true and that it lacked any sort of clue with regards to my presence, I continued to marvel at this balanced bug, this impressive entity that refused to relent to any tug brought on by weather or wind. I cannot say what I think without worrying it will drive you away, Misaki once told me. Honestly, I don't know why thoughts and words hurt so, when there are creatures smaller than the smallest parts of me managing to thrive in the most inhospitable terrain. I suppose my equivalent to this green and yellow beetle's ability to withstand such speed would be me securing myself to something solid enough to withstand a tornado or tsunami. Does it even know fear? I admit it is strange to propel any kind of emotion onto an otherwise overlooked insect or assign any courage beyond this bold and dauntless act. But how is it that a mere earth tremor can gather me into a kind of frenzy where I am forced to run from anywhere dangerous and anywhere with glass? What would this beetle do in such a situation? Likely, its likelihood for survival would be far greater than mine. I watched while the beetle extended its thin sheath of wings, nearly doubling its frame in size, and then I saw it fold them back in. How intricate and delicate a single life could be! Its movements didn't seem to hold any sort of pattern in accordance to the wind, but then who was I to say otherwise? The creature teetered in between the crack of mirror, and it remained there effortlessly and daintily as it furthered upwards. I speak, of course, as someone who doesn't know what goes on inside the brain of a beetle while it is trying to travel many meters from its original origin by way of hitching a ride on an outside car door mirror. Do its legs first find a suitable stance that allows it to reposition or measure direction? Despite its apparent ease in movement, perhaps the creature was struggling to grace a kind of form, but who was I to say otherwise? Many insect patterns collectively occur without any conscious act. A collectiveness controls them, and what is really involuntary response we might mistake for fear. Though this beetle in particular seemed as individual as any, as it invented a kind of elegance and norm, fitting for itself and itself alone. It harbored there for a time, in its own always and ever, managing to thrive without any worry and without instruction from nature or weather. Then, in the sort of movement that delivers seconds in a busy haze, the beetle was gone. I had lowered my head briefly, or maybe I itched my eyes. In either event, I missed it. Had the wind caught the best of it, or did the creature merely wish to pass on? Where was the beetle now? I imagined it extending its wings as it had a moment before and loosening its legs of their strength, and then in a brief surrender, allowing the breeze to become it. Does it dream of a birdless world or one without larger insects to claim it as prey? I knew I had already imposed too much of my own memory upon it, and imbued a destiny within it. Here I had seen and surveyed its actions, while it lingered within the crack of a car mirror, noticing perhaps its reflection? Something exists in sentience. I, too, have been as that, where I am being watched by another I do not know is there. What word is there for that? There is a memory within every mind that is capable of recognition. Call it what you will, I know that sometimes I do not always get to choose what I wish to forget. Rather, memories do guide me, whether I want them to or not. I'd like to think, however, that I am not at their mercy, and that through miles of air and salt and wind, I am not suspended along a mirror's crack, or forcing myself to uphold a sort of selfhood with regards to what I fear. So much of what we notice will never be witnessed again. Most episodes we know only namelessly and impersonally, but nonetheless they are able to resurface when something solicits them. Whatever it is, call it a whim, or perhaps blame it on a sway of wind, for even in isolation, life seeps in.